4 degrees, 2:07 a.m. My hands were shaking, not from the cold, but from the math not adding up. My wife said our daughter was at her grandmother's place. She said it too quickly. No eye contact. A pause where a pause didn't belong. I kissed her forehead anyway and drove through the night because something in my chest wouldn't let me sleep. The backyard light was on when I arrived. That's what stopped me. We never left it on. I found my daughter standing in a hole behind the shed, barefoot, mud up to her calves, crying so quietly it felt rehearsed. I lifted her without looking around, muscle memory taking over, and that's when she whispered into my neck, teeth chattering, "Dad, don't look in the other hole." That was the moment something in me retired, and something else took control. I used to believe loyalty was inherited, that if you built a life carefully enough, marriage, child, company, triggering betrayal would require effort. I was wrong. Betrayal is efficient. It thrives in routine. My wife and I built our relationship on patience, or so I thought. Long dinners, soft lies. She knew how to sound sincere. My business partner, my CEO, knew how to sound decisive. Between them, they thought I was predictable. I was the quiet one, the one who let others speak first, the one who trusted professionals. I let the CEO run day-to-day operations because I believed in focus. I let my wife manage the family trust because I believed in marriage. I believed wrong. People deserved access. The police report said disturbing but inconclusive. The second hole was empty when they arrived. I didn't need them anyway. I installed cameras the same night, not the obvious kind, the kind that don't blink. I pulled phone records, not illegally. People always underestimate what you can access when your name is on the right documents. My daughter slept in my office for a week. She stopped crying on day 3. That scared me more than the hole. Patterns emerged. Late-night calls. Financial authorizations that didn't require them. A shell nonprofit tied to land purchases near our home. Soil delivery invoices. Someone was planning permanence. I stopped confronting. I started preparing. I learned quickly that revenge isn't loud. It's administrative. I let the CEO think he was winning. He cut me out of meetings. He joked about old guard thinking. He spoke about innovation like it was a purge. I nodded, took notes, let my silence confirm his arrogance. What he didn't know was that my father's retirement trust, quiet, boring, unglamorous, had clauses written by men who survived wars and divorces. Clauses that activated voting rights upon material threat to beneficiary lineage. A buried child counts. I filed the activation at 11:58 p.m. on a Friday. No announcement, no warning. By Monday morning, the board convened an emergency meeting. The CEO walked in smiling. He always smiled before he dominated a room. "You're outdated," he hissed at me, leaning close enough for only me to hear. "We're done here," I replied, quietly. Understood. That was the moment the trust spoke. 76%. The room shifted. Chairs creaked. A woman on the board stopped breathing for a second. Someone asked the question out loud, voice cracking. "Who just fired the person who owns 76% of the shares?" The CEO didn't look at me. Not yet. My wife tried to leave the country that afternoon. She didn't make it past security. I had already moved the accounts, froze assets, filed emergency custody under threat documentation. Judges don't like holes in backyards. They like patterns even less. She screamed when they took her phone, not because she loved our daughter, but because she'd lost control of the narrative. She asked me why I didn't confront her earlier. I told her the truth. Because I needed you comfortable. The CEO resigned by Wednesday. Not quietly, not gracefully. Press leaks do that to egos. So do subpoenas. especially when land purchases line up with nonprofit fraud and undeclared personal interests. He sent me one message: "You ruined me." I didn't reply. I was busy filling in a hole. My daughter sleeps through the night now. She doesn't talk about the backyard. She doesn't need to. I watch her breathe and remind myself that survival isn't loud, it's persistent. I walk past the boardroom every morning. They stand when I enter, not out of respect, out of recalibration. Power does that when it moves without warning. I didn't win because I was cruel. I won because I was patient, because I listened when my child whispered, because I understood that betrayal always underestimates the quiet ones, and because when they thought I was retired, I was just activating my voting rights.